Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit Uranus Sextile or Trine one's natal Chiron. Now, this transit may manifest in goals, aspirations, friendships, one's future, freedom, independence, being in harmony with one's physical and emotional ones. I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. It's not that people are in agreement or your friendships are going to be in agreement with the physical and emotional suffering you may be going through at this time, but they'll be auspicious in helping you deal with it. Maybe they can find ways, if it's a physical related issue, they might help you find ways to alleviate the suffering. If it's an emotional wound, they might be able to console you and offer advice as to what you can do about the issue. And this is a very good transit for having those friendships, that support group there for you to deal with these issues if you are going through any physical or emotional pain. At this time, the thing about this transit as well. Keep in mind, this is about, Chiron is the wounded healer. It's the way, we can help and heal others in which we can't help ourselves. And I have my natal Chiron in Aries in the 12th house, and, I can encourage other people to combat, confront people that could be hidden adversaries that are impersonating themselves as friends but really aren't. But I might have trouble and difficulty in doing that myself. And like in my case, since I have the Chiron in Aries in my 12th house in my natal chart, the friendships can be beneficial to me in those matters, and they may be able to give me the sound advice that I'm going to give others on that. And also, Chiron and Aries in the 12th house could also be expressed. It could be in some form of battles that may have been lost, that are tied in with one's secret sorrows, or acting out impulsively or in an angry or acrimonious manner, which could be the self-undoing as well. And this is where the friendships and people that are prominent in groups, clubs, organizations can be beneficial in helping me with that when I'm experiencing this transit. Now, another thing too about this as well is that when you're talking about Chiron again being the wounded healer, and it can reflect how we can help and heal others. And I would say the fact that you have the transit of Uranus making a positive aspect to it could be where you could help and heal friendships at this time. It could be an excellent transit for that. If they have something, say if they have their natal Chiron and Capricorn, I would say especially if it falls in the first or sixth house in their chart, because those are the physical related houses. The first house, of course, is associated with the physical body. Sixth house is connected with physical health related issues. This is where you may be able to benefit them if they have like some issues, say with the knees, the joints, or the hamstrings. If there's some kind of workout program they could follow, it might be something very regimented, that you might be able to help give them some kind of advice on this and help them in that process, and some rehab, some healing as far as that goes. And this is also a time as well where your future, it's interesting because Uranus is about our future, our goals, and our aspirations. And it could be where your goals and aspirations may be to alleviate suffering at this time, or at least you won't allow the suffering to inhibit what you plan on doing, for your future. If you have transit Uranus in the 10th house, say, it could be a future associated with the career, or it could be something with government or politics, or something that you might be involved in with the dominant parent, which is often the father, or even attaining a position of authority. This is also a time as well where, going back to friendships, people prominent in groups, clubs, and organizations, these people can may be beneficial to you and where you feel your ineptitude is. If you have your natal Chiron in Gemini, say, it could be in You might feel inept, maybe in assimilating information or general comprehension, ability to articulate your thoughts or express ideas or concepts as some examples. Um, it might be a time as well when this transit takes place, where you might feel like you're willing to move forward, and anything that might be connected. Chiron is associated with depleted self-esteem, where your future is you're not going to let that necessarily stop you or inhibit you from going after your future at this time. And it could be a very positive transit again for dealing with some kind of suffering. If you have a physical related issue, it could be an auspicious time for using like innovative techniques, new technology to deal with it. If there's like advanced workout equipment, or there's something medical, there's medicine that is new that could help you deal with the issue. This could be that time where it would be an opportune time for that. If there's some kind of, say, nerve damage, there's an advanced an ultrasound, or I should say like what the nerve conduction test is what I'm thinking of, like an advanced nerve conduction test that may be able to detect those issues. And it can also be a time when this transit does take place. This is about you might anything that you may deal with at this time. If there's Uranus is connected with shocking, spontaneous, unexpected events, you're more apt to not let it affect you if you're trying to heal some kind of suffering, or you're trying to help and heal others. There could be a better chance to be able to balance that energy, dealing with some kind of disruption, or or something unexpected happens in your life. This is the time where you would be likely be able to cope with that better and not let it prohibit you in terms of what you're trying to do in connection with your natal Chiron, whether it's you're trying to do something in matters of healing the situation, or you're helping and healing others, as some examples. Now, the thing about this too, Chiron is connected again. It's with anguish that one may be trying to endure and have to cope with, and it can be a time where your goal, your aspirations at this time might be in dealing with it, and you have a better chance of being able to be able to deal with it and find some resolution to this at this time. And it could be it could be beneficial more to your future at this point in time, and also freedom from those issues, because again Uranus is connected with freedom and independence. And also, Chiron is associated with our deepest pain. It's that pain that really hits home. And again, it could be a very propitious time for being able to be free from that pain, and being able to move forward. I mean, Uranus is forward-moving energy. It's progressive, and being able to do so without worrying about this. And it could be a time to, given that Chiron is also symbolically, it's the key, and it's about finding the key to your own to alleviate your own suffering. And it could be just Uranus is connected with the internet and computers. It could be by going online to try to find out what the key is to your own suffering. It could be through astrology even. I mean, you're seeing this video, so obviously you're interested in astrology, and maybe it could be consulting an astrologer to help you with this. Also, another way this transit could manifest, it could be about friendships, which is Uranus. It could be beneficial to you dealing with physical and emotional wounds, which is Chiron. Now, let's say, for example, if the natal Chiron is an Aquarius in the 5th house, it might be where one may be feeling ostracized by society, and society is associated with Aquarius, and it might be adversely affecting one's personal popularity, which is the 5th house. Hold on a moment. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. And also, too, another way this transit may be expressed, it could be where goals and aspirations, which is Uranus, could be in dealing with depleted self-worth. It could be a positive time for that depleted self-worth connected with Chiron. If Chiron is in Aries in the 12th house, going back to my example for me, it could be that inability to confront or combat, which is Aries, the hidden adversaries, which is the 12th house. And it could be a time too where people and groups, clubs, organizations, which is Uranus, could be more in harmony and agreement with the way you help and heal others, which is Chiron. Let's say, for example, if the natal Chiron is in Gemini in the 1st house, it could be some kind of theft, which is Gemini, to the self, the identity, connected with the 1st house. Also, too, this could be a propitious time for freedom, which is Uranus, to find that key, so to speak, to heal one's own wounds. And the key, again, is Chiron, and the wounds is Chiron as well. Let's say, for example, if the natal Chiron is in Pisces in the 11th house, it could simply be by forgiveness, which is Pisces, of those people that may have been friends at one time, but were just deceptive and duplicitous. And that is, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.